So I guess we can get started. Good evening, everyone. My name is Calvin Conyers. I am the Associate Dean of Admissions and Recruitment here at Benjamin Franklin Institute of Technology. And welcome to our HVAC information session. Tonight we have our department chair, John Tarasconi, who will be talking to you more about the HVAC program, what you'll be learning in the program, and some of the great opportunities you'll have after you receive your certificate in HVAC. This is a nice intimate group, so we want to be able to have a conversation. So as he's going through his presentation, feel free to raise your hand and we can ask questions. We do have mentioned our Director of Admissions and Jenny Marcelin, our Assistant Director of Admissions, who will probably be chatting with you guys in the private chat, basically letting you know if you have any missing documents or letting you know where you stand in the admission process through this presentation. So just feel free to, like I said, just loosen up, get ready to enjoy the show. And that, without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic to John.
All right, thanks, Calvin, and welcome everybody to our HVAC showcase, I guess you could call it, the 6 p.m. show. I'm John Terasconi. I'm the department chair for the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration department. I've been at BFIT for about 5, almost 6 years now, actually. I've been doing HVAC for almost 20 years. A little bit about me, I'll start with that. I graduated high school and I worked for the town doing some landscaping. And I was just like, I want to make money. Like, I want to be able to make a bunch of money. I mean, that's kind of why we all go to school, right? Is to learn things so that we're valuable and we're worth money to an employer, the people who are going to pay us to do these things. And one day a friend said to me, "Oh, you should get into HVAC. They make a lot of money." And I had no idea what HVAC was. So I did a little research and I found a school in Boston that's actually closed now, but I applied. It was a course just like this one. And it was the best money I ever spent in my life on myself, the best investment I could have made. I spent about, I don't know, back then it was about $14,000 to go to school. I came out with a certificate and I just immediately had a job before I even finished the class. And I always like working with my hands. I tried working in an office, wasn't really for me. I like being outside. I like getting dirty. So I fit pretty well into this trade. So I started like anybody else. I didn't really know much. People in the trade showed me what to do and taught me. I learned a lot of things along the way. I went back to my school actually one day to say thank you because I had a great career. I was making more money than most of my friends. I had barely, a $14,000 student loan. I basically put it on auto pay and paid it off $20 a week and I just let it fly. And I never even knew. And then one day I got an email or a letter saying, you got about $100 left on your student loan. And meanwhile, I have friends that weren't really making much money and they were $200,000 in debt on their college. And, they were having a tough time. And I couldn't have been more thankful for being able to, make that investment and pretty much change my life. The money you can make in this trade is limitless. If you own your own company, the sky's the limit. So I went back to my school to say thank you, and they asked me if I would help teach. And I said, yeah, you know what? I've never taught before, but I'll help out. Next thing you know, I was running my own class and I was learning. I'm always learning. Even still today, I still try to learn things. And I just fell in love with teaching, and I like seeing the result. Probably one of my favorite things to see people that were like me. They were just, a regular person, I guess, with no real skills or anything. Because the bottom line is you need the skills to pay the bills. If you want to make money, you have to be really good at what you do. And then if you're good at what you do, people are going to pay you good money because they don't want to do it, either because they don't want to do it or they don't know how to do it. In our case, in HVAC, about 99% of the population in this country don't know how to do it. The other 1%, us, we charge them to do it. So it works out pretty good. So this trade is, if you like getting, being hands-on and fixing things, taking things apart, seeing how they work, and if you're kind of like have that mentality, this is a great trade. And you can't go wrong with a trade. There's a lot of things going on. If you read the news, there's a lot of older guys that are starting to retire, and the problem is there's nobody to really fill their shoes. So this trade right now, and any trade, whether it's carpentry, plumbing, electrical, they're all paying really well, and a lot of people are hiring. So since they can't find people to fill, these old guys who are retiring to fill their shoes, what happens is the pay is starting to go up and up and up and up, so they can attract more people into this field. I mean, everyone thinks, people look up to NBA stars and superstars, but really the people who run this country and keep it running is the trade people. And it doesn't matter if you're in a recession, a pandemic. Now, we actually made more money in the HVAC field during the pandemic because, the coronavirus is airborne. Who controls the air in buildings? HVAC. So companies made a ton of money installing new filters, high efficient filters, UV lights, all kinds of stuff like that for public schools and buildings everywhere. So right now, this trade is very hot. A lot of people are hiring. I would say a majority of my students are hired and have jobs before they even graduate. So, it's probably, like I said, one of the best investments I've ever made. The one thing that sets HVAC apart from any of the other trades like electrical and plumbing is an electrician. He pulls wires, they connect things like that. They make great money, but that's all they know how to do. A plumber, they run pipes, they put drains in, they run water lines, gas lines. They make great money, but that's all they do. HVAC, we're a little bit of everybody. We're electrical, we understand plumbing, we understand, refrigeration, we understand ventilation and airflow and things like that. So we are more of an all-around type of, contractor. When it comes, for instance, anything in my house, I can fix anything in my house, whether it's a water heater, my furnace, my air conditioning, anything. And when you own your own house, you can actually pull any permit you want for your own house except for a plumbing permit. So I can pull an electrical permit in my house and do my own electrical instead of paying somebody. I can replace my own water heater instead of paying, $1,200, $1,400. I can go buy one for $300 and do it myself. My own furnace, instead of paying $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 for a furnace, I can go buy one for $1,000 and put it in myself. So if you're interested in, what ends up happening is a lot of people buy property that do HVAC, and we're able to fix our own stuff and save a lot of money on that end. When it comes to the type of jobs in this field, a lot of people assume that if you're doing HVAC or even electrical or plumbing, that you're just riding around in a van and you're doing things like that and going to people's houses or going to buildings. Yeah, that is a lot of it, but there's so many more pathways in HVAC that you can take. For instance, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of like a Nest thermostat or a smart thermostat where you can have in your house and it's connected to Wi-Fi and you can change your temperature up and down on your phone. So imagine that idea. You can just control your house, but imagine that idea in a full-scale building where you can see every room, you can control every thermostat, you can control all the equipment that's in there for heating and cooling. This is called building automation, and that's one pathway that this course can lead you into. I have friends that I have one friend that works for Carnival Cruise Lines. He does HVAC on the boat. He works for 3 months, then he gets 3 months off. He makes unbelievable money, and he gets to go to all the locations that the boat stops. He gets a day off at each one. So pretty great gig. I like looking at his Facebook and seeing all the nice places he's been, and I'm not. We have a student that graduated and started his own HVAC company in the vineyard, and he does houses. He also works on boats. I think if I could go back and do it again, I would probably do yachts, work HVAC on people's yachts, because it's a lot of money. So not only that, but you can ride in a van as well, which is what when we start off, that's usually how you learn, is going from place to place and experiencing different things. But here, the whole point of this course is to give you the basics on, what you need to know. So that way, when you get a job, people can say certain things to you, like, oh, I need you to go replace that compressor, and you'll know what tools you need. Or somebody says, oh, I need you to take the refrigerant out of that system and charge it up with new refrigerant. You'll know how to do that. And we'll pretty much save you about 2 to 3 years of being a helper. Helpers don't make much money. They're making 10, 15, actually close to 20 now sometimes, just to be a helper. I would say the average HVAC guy with 3 to 5 years experience, you're making 100K up here in New England. So we do pretty well, and that's just working regular. There's plenty of overtime. You can pretty much work your life away if you want, and they'll pay for it. But yeah, so there's tons of different careers in this, and it doesn't matter if you don't have a license or things like that, because there's still a job for you somewhere. Even people that have any kind of a record or anything, there's still jobs out there. People still get jobs with records and no license. For example, if you didn't have a driver's license, a good job would be to do HVAC at the Hyatt. Or actually, the casino right now is actually hiring, Encore Casino. Because then you don't need a license, because you're just working in the same building. You're not going anywhere. You're not driving a van around. Say you wanted to move to Florida, you can work anywhere in Florida. We're going to give you certifications that apply across the country. So it doesn't matter where you are, you still have certification. And that's another great point, is that you can relocate anywhere you want in this country and do HVAC. HVAC is the same whether we're here in Boston or in Los Angeles, or if we're in England, London, England. It's all the same. It all works exactly the same. So you could just decide one day, hey, I want to go live in Brazil. And then you can go start an HVAC company in Brazil. It all works the same. So if anyone has any questions about different careers, there's a lot of things you wouldn't even think about that are careers, like the Boston Bruins, right? Where do you think they get the ice to skate on, right? How do you think the inside of that, the TD Bank, how do you think it stays warm and cold in the summer? There's HVAC everywhere you go, on the subways, on regular trains, airplanes, all kinds of stuff everywhere you go. Even if you want to get into the food industry, plenty of work. Refrigeration work is very busy. Restaurants have a ton of refrigeration. You'd be surprised in just one restaurant how many pieces of equipment are HVAC related that we take care of, from the front to the back to the roof, everywhere. Ice machines, things like that. You could have a company just cleaning ice machines, charge about $600 to clean an ice machine. You can do about 2 of them in a day, make $1,200 a day, just cleaning ice machines Monday through Friday. So there's a lot of potential, and really all it comes down to is what you put into this course is what you're going to get out of it. So a student that comes in and he just kind of walks his way through the course, doesn't really try to learn too much, is going to get a regular job. But somebody who comes in and is kind of hungry and wants to learn this stuff, because really the more you know, the more you're valuable. It's like if you were playing basketball. Imagine if you could dunk and play defense, but you couldn't shoot a free throw. Shaq, right? Someone like LeBron is worth more money than Shaq because he can do everything, so he can dunk, shoot. So if you can do everything in HVAC, if you're good at all of it, you're worth more than the guy next to you if he can only do one thing. So my advice is, taking this course is just take advantage of it. And we have a ton of equipment. We have instructors who have lots of experience, and they're willing to give you everything they know. Also, you know, when I have a class and I have students who go the extra mile and, you know, put real effort into it, and you can honestly see that they're trying to learn. When good companies come to me and say, hey, we need your best guys, who do you think I'm going to give to them? You know, I'm going to give them my best guys, my best students that I know will succeed in it. So it comes down to you and yourself as well. But that's with any school you go to. At Benjamin Franklin, I can say from the different schools I worked at, we have some of the most caring and supportive people, especially even in this Zoom class. These are some of the nicest people I've ever met. The rest of the school is just willing to bend over backwards and help you with whatever you may need. If it's trying to get to the school, or maybe you have something going on at home, we have people that can help you. Even if it's just a snack, you're hungry, we got everything you need. And everyone's more than willing to help, which is great, because a lot of schools, see, Benjamin Franklin is a nonprofit school. There are for-profit schools out there that really just, you know, it's a private school, somebody owns it, and they're just trying to take your money and push you right out. I've worked for those schools, and it's not a good feeling when you feel like you're just kind of getting pushed through. Here, it's not like that. We take the time, we put in the extra effort. If you don't understand things, myself and my instructors were all willing to, you know, stay after and help. We do a lot of tutoring and things like that. So the experience and the support at the school is some of the best around that I've ever seen. The biggest thing is just showing up. All you got to do is show up. It doesn't matter if you've never even turned a screwdriver in your life or swung a hammer. It doesn't matter. We start everybody from the beginning, like you know nothing. And then we just build a foundation, and then we start learning from there. There's a lot of things to learn in HVAC. You can never know all of it. There's just too much, but you can get really, really good at it. And those are the people that are going to make a lot of money. Any questions yet? Before I start getting into the curriculum?
I do, John.
Yeah.
It's just a clarification. I just read an application, and one of the students who are here said he's interested in learning about plumbing, but he applied for HVAC. Can you clarify for him, please?
Yeah, so
Thank you.
You mean the difference between plumbing and HVAC?
Yes, because in his essay, he said he's interested in plumbing, but he applied for HVAC.
So I thought about that myself when I was first getting into training, if I wanted to be a plumber, electrician, HVAC. The one thing I know I didn't want to do is, you know, fix other people's toilets. I don't even like fixing my own toilet. Never mind other people's toilet. I would say the plumbers probably have one of the grosser jobs in the trades. Some people doesn't bother them. For me specifically, I didn't want to get into that. But a good way to look at it is plumbing is going to be, you know, drainage, like toilet drains, sewer drains, things like that. Plumbers also take care of gas lines. They run gas to appliances. If they build a new house, the plumber is going to run all the gas lines to your like your oven, your dryer, if you have a gas dryer, the water heater, the furnace. So they take care of that. They also, nobody is allowed to touch drinking water except for a plumber. So plumbers do things like water fountains. They put water to like ice machines. We do the ice machine, but the plumber puts the water to it. So you have to be a licensed plumber to touch water. So to replace a water heater, you're supposed to be a plumber because it's considered drinking water. But if you own your own house, different. So that's one way to look at it. Like I said, it can get kind of gross, but we're all making good money. Trust me. It doesn't matter what trade you're going into, you're going to make good money. I guess it's just going to come down to your preference. Somebody said, you know, I told someone, I think I want to be an electrician. And the old guy told me, you know, electricians, they pull a lot of wires. But he said, how often does a wire break? Not very often. And he said, HVAC, furnaces break, air conditioners break constantly, all the time. And I said, you know, that's a good point. And that's kind of what pushed me into the HVAC side of it. And like I said, I'm glad I did, because I understand electricity, how it works in a house. I could wire a whole house. And I got that just from knowing how HVAC works, because we use electricity. Hopefully that clears up the plumbing question. HVAC, we're more on the, comfort with air, heating, air conditioning, ventilation, stuff like that. Good. All right. All right, so at BFIT, our HVAC course is 9 months long, and it's 800 hours, right? So we are recognized by the state of Massachusetts as a refrigeration school. So what that means is that the hours that you come to this school count towards your refrigeration license. The class is 800 hours, but we actually credit you 2,000 hours for coming and successfully graduating the course. So Massachusetts says that you need 6,000 hours working in the field, which is 3 years full-time. Every year is 2,000 hours. So they want you to have field experience. It's the best way to learn. There's no other, like I said, the best way to learn is by doing it hands-on and being in real world situations. So they want you to have some of that, but they also want you to have some theory training, like the theory of refrigeration. How does that work? We have to do some electrical code because, like I said, we're kind of electricians. I always tell people I'm an electrician, I'm just not licensed. Or I'm a plumber, I'm just not licensed. Because I understand how everything works and the codes to it. I'm just not licensed in it. So speaking about licensing, when you're a plumber or an electrician, you're looking at about 6, almost 7 years before you're licensed. It's a lot longer of a process to be an electrician or a plumber. And it also has continuing education, which means every year you have to attend a certain amount of courses to get points so that you can keep your license. HVAC doesn't have that. So it's a lot quicker to get a refrigeration license than it would be to get an electrical or plumbing license. And we don't have to do the, if you ask any plumber or electrician, they hate going to the courses. It's a pain in the butt. But in order to keep your license, you got to go. HVAC, you don't have to worry about that. Once you get your license, you're good. And all you have to do is renew it every 2 years, and that's it. So like I was saying, the course is 800 hours, and we do about 250 hours of hands-on, at least 250 hours. I would say the course is more hands-on than it is bookwork. 250 hours of theory, like refrigeration theory, how it all works, and how to handle refrigerant and things like that. 50 additional hours of courses, which is like a little more advanced refrigeration theory. So total, it comes out to about 800 hours. We credit you for 2,000, which means once you graduate, you only have to work for 2 years full-time under a licensed contractor. And you can go apply to take your refrigeration test. Once you get your refrigeration license, you can work in places like a hospital, a lot of state jobs. Some of them, not all of them require a license, but if you have it, you're really just worth more money. And it unlocks some jobs that you wouldn't be able to get without a license. Like I said, like a hospital or some of the bigger places. So yeah, classes start September. They go to about May. And the way we do it is 4 days a week. We have a day and a night class. So Monday through Thursday, day classes are about from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Our night classes are from 4 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. The way I set up the course is so the first couple hours is lecture. We talk about, okay, here's a compressor. We'll watch some PowerPoints on a compressor. And then, we'll watch a video or something. The instructor will do some demonstrations. And then we have a lab that will walk you through how to replace a compressor, for instance, things like that. But I'll get into the curriculum stuff in a minute. Anyone have any questions on the course itself?
John, John, I just want to let everybody know I'm only have probably 2 people left, but I want you to know, guys, please check the chat because I'm privately chatting with you. Thank you.
Okay. I don't see anything.
No, not you, John, the
Oh,
attendees. Sorry.
sure. All right, I'm going to share my screen and let me show you how we operate. All right, so when we go into Canvas, Canvas is our online platform where we put all of our classes, and everything you pretty much need is online. Your homework, everything is available. So looking at this right here, this is a bunch of courses that we have running right now. Since I'm the department chair, so I have all the courses up. But I'm going to pop into one and show you what it looks like. So inside the course, this is where I am now. You can see we have week 1, week 2, week 3, 4, 5, all the way down to the final week, week 14. So we separate this whole course into 2 semesters, semester 1, semester 2, and then there's a little 2-week mini semester where we give you your EPA certification, which actually I forgot to talk about, is some of the different certifications we give you when you take this course. So if you sign up for this course, we're going to have you get certified in your OSHA 10. Anyone know what OSHA is? If you don't, it's the Occupational Safety and Hazard Administration. They basically just make sure that everyone's safe and, being safe on a job site so you don't get crushed, pinched, cut, or something falls on you. So that's a great certification because companies know if you have that you've been through the safety thing and you know how to handle yourself on a job site. So we give you OSHA 10-hour safety certification. We're going to give you your EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA 608 certification. That is the biggest certification. That's why we dedicate 2 weeks to it, and then we test at the end of it. The EPA certification is federally recognized throughout the whole country. So once you get it here, it's good anywhere in any state, as long as you're in the US. And basically what it does is allows you to buy, sell refrigerant, handle refrigerant, and things like that. It lets you apply for an account at an HVAC supply house where they sell all HVAC parts. The average person can't walk into an HVAC supply house and buy anything. They won't even talk to you. You have to have an account. The way to get that account is to have your EPA. It costs no money. You just go there, show them your EPA, and tell them you want to open an account. Now you can buy the parts that we get wholesale. So instead of buying a furnace off of an HVAC guy and getting charged up for it, you buy it yourself wholesale, and then you can sell it to customers. So that unlocks all of the, instead of you pay about half the price of what a regular person would pay. So the EPA, we're also going to give you a motor vehicle certification, which allows you to work on the motor vehicle air conditioning. So if you want to charge up your friend's air conditioner in your car, you can do that. We also give you a high pressure refrigerant certification. There's one refrigerant that's high pressure that we use for air conditioning. So in order to use that, we have the certification. And the other thing about HVAC too is there's so many certifications you can get, just little certifications. A lot of them are like 25 questions, open book, online, that you can get on your own, that it just looks better when you go to an interview, when you can drop down all the certifications, and then the guy behind you only has his EPA, but you have your EPA, you have your OSHA 10, you have the motor vehicle, you have R410A high pressure refrigerant, you have a green technician, you have a PM technician certification. So there's a bunch of them. Plumbing and electrical don't have those little things. So it kind of gives you an advantage. I feel like every certification you get kind of makes your stock as skilled labor, makes your stock go up. You're just worth more money. We have an oil burner certification that we do called NORA, and that's just certification saying that you know how to use an oil burner. It's not a Massachusetts oil burner certification. To get that, you have to go through Massachusetts. They're the only ones that can give it. So back to the course, I'll show you what it looks like. So this is a general outline of the course. So semester 1, we're going to talk about fundamentals of electricity. Like I said, we start at the very beginning. We have you wire light bulbs, switches. We started showing you what relays are, different kinds of circuits, contactors and relays. So every one of these is a week. So the first week, talk about what's electricity, where does it come from, how do we, use it, and general safety. You get your OSHA certification at the start, so we can get that out of the way. The third week, we start getting into the fundamentals of refrigeration, the theory of heat and laws of thermodynamics, fancy stuff. We talk about like how refrigeration
Yo no
works,
entiendo aquí algo.
and its basic
Yo estoy con la
components.
gente del Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
Sí.
We talk about the electrical and mechanical things for refrigeration. So like how to charge a system, how to test the system to see if it has enough refrigerant, if it's operating properly, how to do the wiring and the controls for it, and things like that. The mini semester, 2 weeks, we talk about the EPA, and we prepare you to take the test. Like I said, it's a federal test, so when we take it, it's closed book, can't leave the room. We do it just how they want us to do it. So they take it pretty seriously, and so do we. Everyone passes. We usually have 100% passing rate. So it works out pretty good. It's basically like your driver's license for HVAC. If you have that, you're good. Semester 2, my favorite semester. We talk about commercial refrigeration, like in restaurants, things like that. We talk about ice machines, how to fix them, we clean them. Then we start talking about air conditioning and heat pumps. Heat pumps, if you don't know what they are, it's basically an air conditioner in reverse. You can use air conditioning to heat your house instead of cooling it. So it's pretty cool stuff. Psychometrics, which is the properties of air. We talk about, a good example of psychometrics is on a 70-degree day and the humidity is 90%, it's hot. It feels gross outside and you're sweating. And on a 70-degree day, but with 30% humidity, is beautiful. Like today. Today was almost, 70 degrees. And very low humidity, it's super comfortable. But if today I made the humidity up to about 80%, it would feel like it was 80 degrees out. And you'd be just soaked in sweat. It's the difference between being in Arizona and 114-degree weather and you don't even sweat, or being in Florida when it's 90 degrees out and 90% humidity and you want to die. So we talk about that stuff. We start talking about commercial things. How do we heat and cool commercial buildings? My favorite part personally is we start talking about gas heat. Towards the end of the semester, we talk about different kind of furnaces, high efficiency furnaces, medium efficiency. Then we start talking about oil furnaces and hydronic heat, which is boilers and baseboard heat, things like that. And that takes us right through. It doesn't sound like much, but it's a lot. The thing with this course is, like I said, you have to be there. That's the hardest part, is just showing up. If you show up, we take care of the rest, but there's some work involved, obviously. And if you miss 2-3 days, you miss a week, playing catch up gets pretty tough. It's like a bus that keeps moving. And if you fall off, sometimes it's tough to catch back up. But that's why we help support people, and we do, like I'll tutor people, go over things. So for example, if a student comes to me and says, hey, I don't understand system charging. We've been talking about it for a week and a half now. I just don't get it. I'll spend an hour with them online, just like we are now, and I'll just go over it and break it down to its, simplest form. So the actual course here. So when you look at your Canvas, you log on, we're going to give you a school email. You get log on credentials to get into this Canvas, and you'll see your course. It really shows you everything. It has a calendar, shows you when things are going to be due. You can get this app on your phone. You can get it for iPhone or Android, and it'll remind you, hey, the homework's due next week or something like that, and help keep you on track. With technology these days, the excuses of, oh, I forgot my homework, oh, I didn't know what the homework was, doesn't fly anymore because everything's online. So all those weeks I just told you, this breaks them down a lot more. So for instance, here's week 1. Here's all the PowerPoints that we do during that week. Any handouts will be in this section. All I did was click on this and it opens and closes it. It's like a drop down. Any of the videos that we play are available, like if you want to watch it again or something like that. The labs, I'll give you an example of the very first lab we did. Let's see. Try. So this lab, we'll talk about in class what a parallel circuit is, how it works, and we'll go over PowerPoints on what it is and all that. We'll practice. Teacher will demonstrate. We'll watch a video on it, and then we'll give you this lab. And this lab basically walks you through it and shows you step by step. So here you go. It's going to tell you what you need. You need your screwdriver, things like that, which we're going to supply all of your tools. I think we actually have probably the best tool bag around, because I picked it out and we have all name brand tools. We don't give you a bag, we actually give you a backpack. It's a really nice backpack that has lights. It's all name brand stuff like Crescent wrench. We use Klein screwdrivers. These tools will last you until your kids will have them. So the tool bag is really, really nice. A lot of people get jealous about it, but you gotta take HVAC. So like I was saying, the procedures are, it'll walk you right through it. First, you're gonna draw a schematic of what you're gonna do. Your instructor would check it. Then we're gonna help you wire it too. We have a little training board. You wire up some light bulbs with a switch. So you wire it up, your instructor would check it to make sure it's not gonna, cause any fireworks when we turn it on. And then while it's running, we just take some measurements, like the resistance for a light bulb, the total circuit resistance, things like that. And we go through it. And at the end, there'll be questions that you can use. Most people use their book to answer the questions. You can use whatever you want to answer the question. The book we give you, I call it the HVAC Bible. It's pretty big. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. So it's a pretty big book. It's almost 2,000 pages. When I look at it, I just see dollar signs, because the more that the more money you're going to make. Is basically what it comes down to. So we use that book. We give you a hard copy book. We also give you a online book, which I'm going to show you right now. So the book, once you log into Canvas, you log into this thing one time and you're always in. So you don't have to worry about remembering password and all that stuff. It takes a minute to load because it's, like I said, it's almost 2,000 page book. But once you're in it, it works great. So here you go. I just click on the book. There's the actual book right here. You can flip through the pages. You can skip to a random page like 867. And you can go through all the stuff. You can do the questions on it. It's pretty great. The other thing that we have that's really fun is a simulation. So I'm just gonna pick one here. Let's do a gas furnace. Most people have one of those in their house. You might recognize it. So along with what we teach, we also have a virtual simulator. And what this does is the closest thing to real life that I've ever seen. So here we go. We're at somebody's house, and this is exactly how they do it in real life. Oops. Sorry, I locked myself out of the computer. So this is exactly how companies do it in real life. When you start with a company, they're going to give you like an iPhone or an iPad, and they're going to send you the service calls on your iPhone or iPad. So this is simulating that as well. We have a customer, Mary Johnson from Rockville, Minnesota, Maryland. I forget what MD is. And she has no heat. So we put the phone away. We can go look at her thermostat. We can turn the furnace on. We can go look at the actual furnace. Some of you guys might recognize this thing. You might have one in your house. We can take the thing out, the cover off. We can work on any parts of this. It's pretty crazy how far you can zoom in. The graphics are pretty intense. So all of these wires you see here, I can check all of these. I can go in my little tool bag here, virtual tool bag. I can take out my electrical meter. I can check voltage in different spots. It shows you where you can check. So I can put one there, put the other one right here. Turn the switch on, and boom, look, 120 volts. Also shows you the flame. See if it lights up. And then I'm going to show you the blower. So this is like you have to figure out what's going on. So this furnace doesn't work, and basically you see it keeps trying to light. So we would walk through this and determine what the actual problem is. Is it a dirty air filter? Like this? No. And if you get stuck, it actually walk you right through it. So say you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the problem is. It'll walk you through step by step. Okay, check the thermostat. Okay, remove the furnace control. Take the door. Okay, check this. So you get this certain measurement. Yes, and then it'll walk you through it. And then you can fix it. It'll give you a repair. So we think we have a bad blower motor. Give you a quote for the customer, which is a very low quote. And if you want to proceed, do it. Place that. I think I know what the issue is here. And there we go. We solved it. I can even look at the bill for the customer. Replace their blower. Total is $475. And then if you want to get the extra stars, you get a cleanup. So we go to the broom. Oh, we got to take the tape off. Clean up. Congratulations. So it has this is just a gas furnace, but there's different ones for heat pump, oil furnace, small air conditioner, a boiler, freezers, things like that. So what I do is I take those and they're sprinkled throughout the course. So what, for instance, when we're working on gas furnaces, if we go down to gas furnaces, you'll see on the drop-down list that there's some simulations. So if you want to see what it looks like when one of these parts on the furnace breaks, what happens, and walk yourself through it and kind of replace them virtually, you can click on these. So sometimes we'll give these for homework and you can mess around with it. It's pretty cool. Let's see. All right, so it looks like we got about 10 minutes left. I was going to open it up if anyone has any questions, anything like that. No questions, huh? Well, I can tell you this. I've never met anyone broke doing HVAC. Most of us have trucks, motorcycles, houses. We're always busy. We don't get laid off. We make good money. Honest work.
One student asked whether the book is included.
If what?
Whether the book is included.
Yes, actually, the book is included, both the virtual and the hardcover book. The tool bag is also included. We're going to give you a shirt. We have nice, they're like snap-on shirts, kind of like a mechanic shirt. So we wear that in class so that, well, for a few reasons. One, so you don't get hurt because, you know, it's flame retardant. It's arc flash rated, so if it gets zapped, it won't melt. It looks good, and you won't get your own clothes dirty. Why ruin your clothes when you can ruin ours? In September, when you guys start, somebody asked if the program will be hybrid or full-time in person. We're going to be doing full-time in person. Unless things change. We don't know what. As of right now, it's full-time in person. But it seems like Corona's kind of making a comeback. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't want to go through that again. What time of the morning and afternoon classes? So the morning class during the day is Monday through Thursday, and that's from 8 a.m. to 2:30. And the night class is also Monday through Thursday, and that's 4 p.m. to 10:30. Listen, this goes by quick. 9 months is not very long. And you guys have kids, you know that 9 months goes by quick. So, you know, you start, and then the next thing you know, you have all this information in your head. It's time to graduate. Somebody said, I'm interested in the plumbing program. Okay. So yeah, to be a plumber, it takes about 6-7 years to get your journeyman plumber license. With that journeyman, you can start a company, but you can only you can only be the only person in the company. I think you can have one helper. You can't advertise on the side of a truck unless you're a master plumber or a master electrician. There's no master, so there's only 2 licenses in HVAC. Remember, there's a difference between a license and a certification. A certification is just, you know, a certification, but a license, there's only 2 of them, and they're both issued through the state. You have to take classes. So there's a refrigeration license and a sheet metal license. Refrigeration, there's an apprentice license that you would get after you graduate. Once you get your 2 years full time, you can take the test through the state. You become a refrigeration technician. The next step after refrigeration technician is a refrigeration contractor. And really that test is all about workers' comp, billing, customer stuff. It has nothing to do with HVAC. It's really just financial stuff to get any master, whether it's a master plumber, master electrician. It's actually not about any of the trades. It's all about running a business. So like workers' comp things, taxes, things like that. Can you switch from evening to morning classes? Absolutely. We do it all the time because people take the day class. They end up getting a job during the day. So they ask to switch to the night class. That happens a lot. And we don't want any, the whole point is to get you guys a job. So if you have the opportunity, we're going to do everything we can to make sure that you finish the course and that you can, you know, still have the job at the same time. Good question.
I have two more questions. One student emailed me all the questions. I think most of them are answered. Two are left. One is whether students are required to have a computer for classes.
It definitely helps. You can use everything I just showed you on your phone. The simulator, I will say it's not easy to use on your phone. But I think we do, Calvin, do we do anything with those books? What are they called? Chromebooks? No.
No, we don't have any. We're not doing the.
Yeah, that
No,
was
we didn't have that donation this year.
So if you have your own laptop, it's great. It definitely helps.
But if students need, I mean, Brett, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, if students don't have access to a computer or laptop, let us know that, because we do have programs at the college where we could hook you up with either free or discounted computer equipment. So I'm sorry I came in late. I just introduced myself really quickly. I'm Brett Wellman, the Assistant Dean of Students, and I'm also the advisor. I'm the advisor for all the students in the day program at the HVAC, in the day HVAC program. So if you're in day, you'll hear from me soon to enroll and register for your classes. And if you have any questions about the computer stuff, just let me know when we do meet.
Sorry, let me ask the last question. I need to switch to another Zoom. So the student asked how student can access to our career service. So Brett can help answer the question.
The question about career services?
Yes, how do the student have access to that?
So throughout the year, we do various things regarding career services. So like in the fall semester, we'll work on your resume and get you set with that before the spring semester starts in January. Because in January to May, it's going to be really fast. As Mr. Terasconi said, you're going to be like flying through the program. And in that semester, we also have a career fair where you'll be meeting with and hopefully interviewing with HVAC employers that come to campus. This past, maybe like 2 weeks ago, we had our career fair, and HVAC was the major that had the most job opportunities there. So we hook you guys up. We want you to be employed by the time you finish this program. Our goal is when you graduate, you're either interviewing or hopefully accepting a job, right away, or using that summer to do that. So I'll be working with you on resume, cover letter, interviewing, job searching, all that jazz. Most of it is going to be in that January to May part, but we'll start a little bit of it in like November, December with working on resumes.
Absolutely. I will say that in the past year or so, I've had so many companies contact me looking for people. So honestly, I can't graduate people fast enough. That's how busy this trade is right now. And they're just looking for people constantly. So if you can't find a job in HVAC, it's because you're not looking. That's the only thing. If you Google HVAC jobs in Boston right now, you're going to see how many there are.
I was going to say, like, that's Mr. Tarasconi's line. If you don't get a job, you're not looking. Because he'll tell that to you when you meet with you in orientation throughout the year, because there are jobs. We are constantly getting emails, calls. We're saying, like, send us people. So there's plenty of jobs out there. This was one of the fields that wasn't impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Like, they're still hiring. You think about it, there's HVAC everywhere. It hasn't gone away. So like, I'm glad you guys are interested in it and you're here, because it's going to set you forward in life.
Right. And also, we're going to help you with your resume. So if you might have a resume, you might not have one. Our career services team and Brett are all going to help you with putting your resume together. We can do practice interviews, everything like that. So even during the course, we usually start off the classes with interview questions, like there's like a list of commonly asked questions that when you go on an HVAC interview, most companies are going to ask you. So we'll usually start off the class with like a question like that, just to kind of get everyone like a stretch before a workout. Kind of, that's how I look at it. We also obviously have financial aid at the school. So if you have any questions on that, I would be directing you to the right people for that. I don't handle the financial aid stuff, so I don't know too much about that. I stay in my little HVAC world.
quick question regarding that for the students that are here. If you have not done your FAFSA, I know that this was probably brought up earlier because I came in a little late. Do it now. You can do it anytime now. Just get it done and over with. And Jenny or Ming can make sure you have the BFIT code to put in there. That's one of the things that the sooner you get it done, the sooner you can get packaged. So when you start, we're not running around trying to find you and worry about what kind of aid you're getting. You can start with like no stress. So like you fortunately have many months before the semester starts in September to take care of this, but just get it done and over with right away.
I also would like to add that all of you in the room, I chatted with you privately. I let you know what your situation is. If you're missing immunization, if you're missing application, if you're missing FAFSA, whatever you're missing, get it in, because if you get the immunization, the FAFSA, the COVID in, by the end of this month, you will be registered for class. You will have your schedule for September. So I know September is a few months later, but you want to have your schedule right now, right? And then remember, with FAFSA, it's first come, first service. You want to get the money if you qualify for it. And that's my daughter.
Actually, there's one thing I didn't talk about, and that was union stuff. There is an HVAC union in Boston. It's called Local 537. We do have connection with them. And I'm actually working with them right now to make a kind of a direct line from people who come out of our school and to go right into the union. For those of you who don't know what a union job is, it's basically union companies are working on big stuff like schools, hospitals, large commercial buildings. So you'd be working in buildings like that. They're making about $75 an hour, and they get pensions, which you don't hear of very often. You just have to be able to get into it. They only accept a certain amount of people, and they only hire in January. So it's definitely easier if you know somebody, but it's possible. Anything's possible. Any other questions? Let's see if I missed any in the chat. Somebody said, Morgan, are there any HVAC jobs available during my time in the program? Yeah, I mean, there's companies that will hire you with no experience. You're going to start. Let me just say that no matter what path you take, you have to start at the bottom. So you might be making $25 an hour right now. If you go to become a helper and they start you at $15 an hour, obviously that can be tough to go down 15. But here's the thing: you might be making $25 an hour stocking shelves right now, but it's probably not going to go up much more than that. You start an HVAC career, you might start lower than 25 an hour, but what's going to happen is in a couple of years, you're going to go up. Usually every 6 months, companies bump you up. In 3 years or so, 2 years, depending on the company, you're making way more than $25 an hour. So it's either, stay with the $25 and, be happy with that, or move yourself up. The deal with a trade or any trade is you have a skill. If you just stock shelves at Target, no offense to anybody if they work at Target and stock shelves, but if you stock shelf or push a lawnmower, you don't really need a brain for that. And the problem with that is I can just fire you today and have somebody else take your spot. Anybody can do it, right? So you're not really valuable. You're easily replaceable. With an HVAC job, companies are killing themselves looking for people to work, people who know how to do HVAC. So they're going to be hesitant to get rid of people because unless you're really, really bad, obviously, but you're not easily replaced. So it's harder and you're worth more money. You have a skill that's valuable. Pushing a lawnmower, anybody can push a lawnmower. It's not hard. So when you have a skill, it opens up a lot more doors for you. You're worth a lot more money and you're more valuable to employers. And I'm pretty sure that goes for any field that you get into. All right.
Any questions? Maybe last question?
Check. Well, hopefully I see everyone in September.
Yeah,
If you have any questions
coming.
before then, I'm going to put my email in the chat.
Yep, please. Jenny and I will help you go through all the enrollment process, and Wally will register you.
Right. All right.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you
All of you told me you would send me stuff tomorrow. Please do. Okay. Thank you.